Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review. Continuing on with my horror movie review series. This time it is going to be on Train to Busan. Now, this is a movie I've actually really been wanting to review, even if it wasn't during the Halloween season. I almost thought about reviewing this movie last year, but I don't know, I just didn't really feel like it. Like, I definitely wanted to at some point, but now I think this is the perfect time. I just rewatched it. And yeah, if you don't know what the story of Train to Busan is, it involves this man who is trying to take his daughter to see her mother in Busan. Only they pretty much have to go there now because a zombie outbreak occurs, and it happens on a train as people start getting infected, and they have to try and survive the train. Not to mention, they have to go to two trains. Once they get off, they have to try to get back on another train to Busan. And yeah, you know where the movie's going. Seems like a really ridiculous premise. I mean, zombies on a train. Like, how could that work? It's probably going to work like if it were a ridiculous zombie movie with just a lot of blood and gore. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But no, this is not just another zombie film, okay? This is set in Korea. It's a Korean film. And yeah, it's foreign language, so if you're not really into foreign language films, chances are you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. But this movie is far more than your average zombie film. Like, if you take films like George A. Romero's Of the Dead series, like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and I guess Land of the Dead, but not really much of a fan of Land of the Dead. But if you take his first three movies, there's actually quite a bit of social commentary to them. And I feel like this movie is more on the subject of that than it is just being a flat-out zombie film. Because while there are zombies in the movie and you do see blood, it's not really focused on trying to show a lot of crazy kills. In fact, it actually focuses a lot on characters, and there are characters that I actually really cared for. Like later on, there's this man and woman who are having a child, and this man kind of treats the main guy kind of like he's a jerk because he almost leaves them behind. No, they actually have really good character to them, and the daughter shows a bond between the woman who's having a baby, and a lot more happens. Like there's this guy who's part of a college group or something, but he wants to try getting back to his friend who's a female, and there's this guy who pretends that they are already infected. As yeah, there actually isn't that many ways that they could have survived the whole thing. Like, they don't have any weapons, they don't have any blades or anything like that. All they have are bats, pretty much, and their fists. Like, that's one thing I love, is that these characters are struggling. Like, they're not badasses, they don't have, like, heavy machine guns to defend themselves. Like, and this guy has to take care of his kid, too. Has to try to get his kid all the way to Busan to see her mother, because they've separated. And watching them just suffer on this train, I felt really bad. Like, this movie gets very emotional and very deep too, and with its social commentary elements mixed in, the movie never shies away from its characters nor its crazy amounts of zombies, because there are a lot of zombies in this movie, but they're not really eating people. They're more like trying to spread the virus of what's going on during the zombie outbreak. Like, they don't try to rip open their guts and like eat them. No, they're just trying to bite them so they can just, bring more to their kind, pretty much. And I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything for you guys. Even though this movie is 6 years old, it came out, I didn't even know this movie was released until 2020, pretty much, when nobody knew what to do during the pandemic. So, yeah, this was a perfect film to watch in 2020, and a lot of people seem to have watched it back then. And I still feel like it's definitely worth watching now. And it's very scary, too. Like, this movie just manages to be absolutely terrifying with the look of the zombies, and most of them aren't like CG'd. I mean, sometimes they are, but when they truly have to, but most of them are done by real people with really creepy looking eyes. They actually do look pretty creepy and very tense, and it left me on the edge of my seat, or left me on the edge of this area, because this is where I watched the movie. And I really wanted these people to survive, but because it's a zombie movie, you could tell that not all of them were going to survive. And when some characters do get killed or get infected with the virus, yeah, it definitely made me shed a tear. In fact, it's definitely going to. Like, okay, I'm going to try my best, but the ending, I'm going to try my best not to spoil this, but the ending, hit me hard the second time I watched it. I mean, it hit me hard the first time, but I nearly shed a tear near the end. Like, it was hard for me to watch, and I almost wanted to look away because it was so powerful, and the actors gave it their all here. Like, it is so powerful and so strong. I thought it was a perfect way to end the movie. Sometimes this movie kind of reminds me of a foreign version of Telltale's The Walking Dead, combined with Bullet Train, even though Bullet Train came out in the 60s. Bullet Train just with zombies, and it's far more emotional, and it takes itself much seriously. But that's not really a bad thing. I mean, it has a story to tell, it has social commentary to show to people out there, and its strong performances make the characters very, very likable, having you caring about them and hoping they would survive. And it makes for a really deep and emotional time. And the movie never shies away from entertainment. Like, there are some really entertaining moments between going off against the zombies, and they're not just with people from the army. In fact, the people from the army, a lot of them get killed in the movie. Like, a lot of them turn themselves. So seeing some of these people survive is kind of a blessing to see, and something that we wouldn't really see in that much of a situation. So there's that too. So yeah, films like Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland are great comedy horror movies, and they managed to have fun with the comedy genre. This one has fun with a deep emotional genre, and one that I think works very, very, very well here. Train to Busan, I think, is an absolute masterpiece that needs to be seen at least once. I didn't put this on my best horror movies of 2016 list, but if I did, I think this would definitely make the top spot because there was just so much. It showed that zombie movies on a train don't have to be silly. They can actually be done by people who know how to make a good story, know how to make good characters that you actually cared for, and at times can even make you shed a tear or two or three. But it's one that I enjoy watching. Like, this is one that's I kind of want to watch more of. I mean, I know there's a sequel called Train to Busan Presents Peninsuela or something like that. I've heard it wasn't nearly as good as this film, but yeah, this film is definitely worth a watch. It has very likable characters, ones to root for. It never shies away from its entertainment while also showing its emotion and its characters just acting like they're real people and not acting like they're in a movie. They actually do feel like real people, and that's what makes it way more terrifying. It's a zombie film that never shies away from any of the genres that it's trying to do here. It's one that I feel like is absolutely worth a watch, and it's probably on my top 5 favorite zombie movies of all time. It needs to be seen by people who are fans of zombies. But of course, if you're not a fan of not having huge amounts of gore, you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. As for me, I think this movie manages to be fun and deep at the same time. Never shies away from entertainment, never shies away with its story or its characters. That's exactly what I love about films like this. It's more on the side of Dawn of the Dead and not something stupid like, I don't know, House of the Dead. I shouldn't have said that because that movie isn't even laughably stupid. Okay, well, it kind of is, but that's a bad movie, okay? Films like that don't even, whatever. This is the exact opposite of that. This needs to be seen, and I love every single second of it. This is a train trip that is more than worth taking. I'm serious when I say I think this movie's flawless, and I definitely do want to get the 4K release, and it is supposed to be released pretty soon. I definitely want to get it. Though it's going to be kind of hard for me to watch this movie again because I could not believe how much I nearly teared up the second time I watched the movie. So yeah, it's kind of like a Korean zombie version of Grave with the Fireflies. Okay, well, almost as sad as that. Oh, okay, well, great. What am I even doing here? Okay, both are sad. And both are definitely gonna have me crying up when I watch them again because, yeah, to think a zombie movie would have so much to it. I mean, it's pretty much like on the same side as The Last of Us or Telltale's The Walking Dead. It's a great film, and definitely watch it, but I wouldn't really recommend watching it if you're like in a happy mood because you really will tear up in this movie. I did, whatever. Amazing movie. What more can I say? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.